For the past 5 decades, Queen Margrethe of Denmark has delivered a message on New Year's Eve to wish her subjects well for the coming year. But on the last night of 2023, she surprised everyone when she announced this speech was her last. "I have decided that now is the right time." On January 14, 2024, 52 years after I succeeded my beloved father, I will step down as Queen of Denmark, Margrethe said on live television. "Thank you to the many, many people who on special occasions and in everyday life have embraced me and my family with kind words and thoughts, turning the years into a string of pearls." In 2 weeks, Margrethe will abdicate in favour of her son Crown Prince Frederik and his Australian-born wife Princess Mary. After experiencing some health issues in recent months, Margrethe said she had decided the time was right for her to step down. How a secret Tasmanian girl rose to the throne. Mary Donaldson grew up in suburban Hobart and went to her local high school. Later this month she'll become Denmark's queen when her husband, Frederik, becomes king. A man puts his arm around the shoulders of a young woman, both of them with dark hair. Read more. The 83-year-old became the longest-serving living monarch in Europe in 2022 upon the death of her third cousin, Queen Elizabeth II. Margrethe has long enjoyed the adoration of her subjects, with 72% of Danes approving of the monarchy. But her decision to abdicate comes during a tumultuous period for the House of Glucksburg. From a feud with her youngest son over his children's titles to a Spanish tabloid's claims of infidelity, the last few years have been dramatic for the Danish monarchy. Now it will be up to Margrethe's heir to steady the ship. 5 people in royal attire pose for a portrait. Queen Margrethe and Prince Frederik are seated at front adorned in jewels. Queen Margrethe recently changed the titles of children born to her second son Prince Joachim, behind center, while those of Crown Prince Frederik and Crown Princess Mary remain the same. Danish royal house, Morten Abrahamsen. The girl who was never meant to rule and her alpha male husband. Princess Margrethe entered the world in April 1940, just a week after Germany invaded Denmark. Her father took the throne 2 years after his nation was liberated from Nazi occupation. Growing up in the royal residence of Copenhagen, Margrethe was the first of 3 daughters born to the Crown Prince and Princess. But she would not become an official heir until her father changed the laws of succession shortly before her 13th birthday. A studious and well-traveled young royal, Margrethe graduated from Denmark's most prestigious institutions and continued her studies abroad in Paris, London and at Cambridge University. While juggling her public and social engagements, Margrethe studied philosophy, prehistoric archaeology, political science, and became fluent in 5 languages: Danish, French, Swedish, English and German. It was during her time at London School of Economics that she first met French diplomat Henri de Laborde de Montpezat, a flamboyant alpha male, who would become her husband of almost 50 years. Queen Margrethe in blue coat and matching earrings smiles with Prince Henrik who waves from balcony. Queen Margrethe and Prince Henrik were married for more than 50 years. Scanpix, Maria Halvia Reuters. They married in 1967 and welcomed 2 sons in quick succession. Prince Frederik, the future king, was born in 1968, and his younger brother Joachim a year later. In 1972, Margrethe's father King Frederik delivered his traditional New Year's address to the nation, wishing for a prosperous year ahead. But within hours he had fallen ill and 2 weeks later the king died. His daughter became the second female monarch in Denmark's history. While Queen Margrethe balanced her royal duties with raising her 2 sons and pursuing her artistic passions in illustration, set design and costuming, her husband agitated for more official recognition. It is no secret that Henrik for many years has been unhappy with his role and the title he has been awarded in the Danish monarchy. The Royal Danish House's Director of Communications told a newspaper in 2017. The prince consort had publicly refused to be buried next to the plot reserved for his queen unless she saw fit to bestow him with the title of king consort. Ultimately she did not. Upon his death in 2018, Henrik was cremated, with his ashes scattered across the seas and placed in the garden at Fredensborg Palace. Queen Margrethe last year surpassed Christian IV as Denmark's longest-reigning monarch. But her 51st year on the throne would prove to be one of the most tumultuous yet. A controversial decision enrages the Queen's son. Many of the Scandinavian royal families have undergone dramatic changes in recent decades to modernize and keep their cost to the taxpayer relatively low. The Danish government used to pay an annual subsidy of $22 million to support Margrethe, her two sons and their families. But in 2016, Queen Margrethe agreed to a change in funding that means only the heir to the throne, in this case Frederik and Mary's firstborn son Christian, will receive a state-funded salary. Prince Christian's siblings and cousins will be expected to get jobs and support themselves when they're old enough. Queen Margrethe, seen from behind, kisses her grandson while others in matching royal sashes watch on. Prince Christian, the firstborn son of Crown Prince Frederik and Crown Princess Mary, will retain his royal title as heir to the throne, Mads Claus Rasmussen/Ritzau Scampix via Reuters. The family said it accepted the decision and always planned for the monarch's grandchildren to support themselves. But 6 years later, further efforts to streamline the House of Glucksburg caused a schism between the Queen and her youngest son. In 2022, she announced that Prince Joachim's 4 children would surrender their titles of Prince and Princess and henceforth be styled as Count and Countess of Montpezat. Prince Joachim's descendants will thus have to be addressed as Excellencies in the future, her office said in a statement. The Queen's decision is in line with similar adjustments that other royal houses have made in various ways in recent years. But Prince Joachim immediately went public, claiming that his mother had blindsided him with her decision and deeply hurt the feelings of her grandchildren. "We are all very sad," Prince Joachim told Danish outlet Ekstra Bladet. "It's never fun to see your children being mistreated like that. They themselves find themselves in a situation they do not understand." An angry Joachim disputed his mother's claim that he was given 4 months' notice of the decision, insisting he was told just days before she made the announcement. The usually drama-free Danish royals began to fight with each other through public statements. "We understand that there are currently many emotions in the game, but we hope that the wishes of the royal family to make the royal house future-proof will be respected," Queen Margrethe said through her office. Despite the scandal, Margrethe refused to back down, insisting she was acting in the long-term interests of House of Glucksburg. She did, however, issue a very public apology to her son and his children. "I have made my decision as queen, mother and grandmother," she said. "But as a mother and grandmother, I have underestimated the extent to which my younger son and his family feel affected. That makes a big impression, and for that I am sorry.